Hi guys, I hope all is well and you already made your amazing vegan homemade meal and you're no longer needing those craving trips to the shops for something to go on with your burgers or chips. So today, as promised, we're going to make use out of the second part of our actual chickpeas today. Okay, so we're gonna make a hummus. So now I know it's gonna be really, like for you, some of you, it's gonna be boring because we know how to make it. Most of us make it, we buy it. Now, a few reasons why I'm still gonna do it, and I hope it's gonna be inspiring, is first of all, I really like you to make a habit of it, because hummus is something that we tend to eat in the UK a lot, probably less than in Israel, but still a lot. And it's being sold in those plastic pots that are lasting for, I don't know, half a party or 15 minutes, and then unfortunately produce loads of rubbish which we don't like. Secondly, because still it's the ingredients in actually shop with hummus, and it's not so bad for you, but because it's so easy to make, I just want you to have a habit of making that. But also, the second reason is just to really play with it, like play with eating hummus. So we tend in here just to have it with some vegetables, or maybe as a spread, in the sandwiches and things like that, or just to dip your falafels in it, and that's all great. But there is so much more to hummus. Hummus can be pretty much like a main course. It can be this fantastic dish that basically a hummus will be more like a base and a carrier for everything else we put on top. So today I'm gonna quickly make a hummus. I'm gonna still give you some tips how I make it, and then you see how you feel about that. But then we will be adding a couple of things on the top, and I'm going to show you how I like to make my hummus and how I like to eat it. And it also looks beautiful on the plate when you have friends around and things like that. So yeah, let's just get quickly started. So I know I'm going to probably cause a lot of discussions here, because there are so many ways that people make it. Some people make it with chickpea water. Some people make it with a hot water. Some people make it with cold water. So I've got no ambition of saying to you this is the best hummus. I'm just saying that's the recipe that I use, and it's easy, and it doesn't require a lot of equipment and a lot of other fancy stuff. But there is a couple of things that I think are crucial, which we shouldn't potentially omit and should not say no to. So let's get on to it. So in my little blender, because I'm not gonna make a huge amount today, in my little blender, let's just put some chickpeas on. So that's just the tin, and that's gonna make so much already, like it will be a lot. Now the garlic super important. To me, this is one of those things you really should not say no to, unless you really hate it, then put less and less, but I still think it's important. So for one tin, I'd say 1 clove is good, 2 is for adventurous people, but see how you feel about that. And another very important ingredient is the lemon. I definitely would say don't skip it. It just adds the balance. Chickpeas are quite mild, they can be quite blunt, they can be quite with just no character really. So for a whole cup, for a can of chickpeas, I'll probably have a nearly full lemon here, and that's how I like it. I do realize that I like my food slightly acidy. To me, it's a lot to do with my heritage, probably because I love sours, I love ferments and things like that, but it's just because to me it balances everything. But of course, if it's a bit sour for you, then don't. Don't forget, another thing we need is tahini. Now tahini is super fatty, because it's basically sesame butter. So again, that's why lemon, because it balances the fattiness. So I'm gonna probably have around 3 teaspoons here of tahini. Now I don't know. I'll have to taste it later. I'll see how I feel. This is the thing with hummus. And salt. Definitely start with a little teaspoon of salt, maybe slightly less. It's quite a difficult thing to get rid of salt, especially from hummus. You probably have to add another chickpea can here, just to balance the too much of the salt. So now we're gonna close that, and I'm gonna grab from the fridge the cold water. Now, the cold water to me is my secret. So a lot of people tell you, oh yeah, you can make it hot. Yeah, I probably can. It's not that I have no problem with that. I'm not arguing. The way I like it with a very, very cold water. It makes it nice and smooth. So let me just grab my cold water. Here it is. So this is just the water that I kept in the fridge. Now, let's make some noise for a second. Okay, so this is already kinda blitzed, but obviously it's super stodgy. It needs something. So a lot of people also put the olive oil. Now that's great, but it's gonna be heavy. It's gonna be quite heavy, so that's why I stick to the water. So I'm just going to add a bit of the water, probably 1/4 of a cup max to begin with, and we'll see how we feel later about that. Yeah, it's all fine. Here we go. So now we can just blend it for longer, and to achieve this consistency of like really creaminess, and also depends a lot on the blender you have got. So I've made it today with a small S blender. When I make it in my food processor, it's much smoother. I can get the consistency of almost like a creamy mashed potato, something like that. That's all really entirely up to you how you feel about that. So now the tasting time. So let's just kind of have a quick, well, yeah, for me it's perfect, but I've made it so many times that I don't need to adjust a lot. But yeah, to me it's perfect. But obviously always taste your food, always see how you feel about the food, and then just see if it needs anything else. Trust your taste buds, trust your intuition. So now I'm going to show you how I like to eat it. Okay, so obviously this is already amazing, and obviously we can start, but I like to put a lot of hummus on my plate and just nicely spread it like that. Make a bit of a kind of hole in the middle for all the things. So now I'm gonna make one Mediterranean one. So I'm just going to take a nice tomato. It's September already, so the tomatoes are really nice, really juicy, and really flavorsome. So it's good to use tomatoes at the moment. Then I've got my parsley pesto, obviously homemade. You can get my tips on the pesto on my Instagram, and I really recommend it. Just like always have it in your fridge, because it's just one of those best things that just makes everything taste so much better. And we have some basil, so definitely get some basil leaves here just for the beautiful color and also for nice aromas there. So here we go. And now there is a bit of a time for an olive oil. So now I'm just gonna use a splash of olive oil just for the beautiful, beautiful color. And here we are. So this is the hummus, which we can just eat like with salad on the top. You can put so much more, of course, on the top. Nice Mediterranean flavor, some tomatoes, you can just add some more salt if tomatoes are good with that. Pesto, basil, and olive oil. And beautiful, beautiful, full of protein hummus on the bottom. Now, second one, just really, really quickly, exactly the same situation. So we're just gonna put like a few tablespoons of hummus, really nicely spread them around here. And yesterday when I was baking a lot of burgers, I also stuck some beetroots in the oven, not to waste energy, so I always do it because I love to have beetroots roasted, but I'm not gonna switch on the oven for 1 hour for one beetroot because that's just pointless. So I always use my oven that's already cooking, that's already on, for something else. So here we go. So I've got a beautiful beetroot which I'm going to chop and arrange my chops of beetroot here. Maybe add some color. So I've got some spring onions. Again, I didn't make an extra trips for those things. I literally opened the fridge and I said, okay, here we go. What do I have and what needs eating up? So here we go, beetroot, some spring onions, and now we need some like nice crunch. So I've got sesame seeds here, where black and white with cumin. So this is really nice. Beetroot really goes really well with cumin. So that's a beautiful thing. And also for added nuttiness, I'm gonna have some hemp seeds. So hemps are absolutely beautiful. They add this like a nutty flavor, and of course, extremely healthy for you. And if you wish some more olive oil for your healthy fats, because the olive oil is definitely good and it just gives a nice, again, curry for the flavor. So here we are. That's how we can eat hummus a bit differently, with a big salad on top and anything else that you wish. So use your chickpeas in 2 ways. Make mayo and make some good hummus. Don't make those trips, because you saw how much hummus I've made from a one. You know, I still have so much more here that's quite impossible to eat. And it was only one can of chickpeas. So if you think about it, how many plastic boxes I've already saved, I'm pretty pleased with myself. So ditch the fake out, eat the real food made by your hands, enjoy and play in the kitchen. Until the next time.